This is the Getting Into Alignment podcast. Here we play in the quantum world of possibilities. If you desire it, you get to have it. My name is Alexa Ray Smith. I'm a business coach and spiritual teacher for women in business. I'm here to help you unlock your personal power and tap into your magnetism so that you can manifest the most incredible life for yourself and build the business of your dreams. These episodes will help you plug into the energy of infinite potentiality and teach you the tools you need to play in this world where limitations don't exist. On this podcast, I'll be talking to you about energetics, mindset, embodiment, spirituality, money, and business. Everything that you want is on the other side of you getting into alignment. Welcome back to the Getting Into Alignment podcast. I'm your host, Alexa Ray Smith. And today I want to talk to you about the thing that I would say is probably what people struggle with the most when it comes to manifestation, when it comes to business, when it comes to truly manifesting all of their desires, building their 6, 7, 8-figure empire. And it is persisting with the new story. At the end of the day, everything that is happening in the universe is just information. If we look at it like binary code, which is just zeros and ones are making up everything you're seeing. We live in a quantum universe, and it is literally scientifically proven that unless you are observing something, it doesn't exist. But as humans, we assign meanings to everything. And what happens is we are constantly stuck in this cycle where we are assigning meaning to things outside of us and assigning negative meaning because we don't like the things that we're seeing. And then we get stuck in this catch-22 where we might be doing the mindset work while we might be taking actions in our business, while we are applying the strategies, while we are regulating our nervous system, while we are rewiring our mind. But at the end of the day, we still have this emotional charge to things that we're seeing outside of us. And when we have an emotional charge, we go back to a negative vibration. We go back to assigning a negative meaning. And then what happens is no matter what we're doing, no matter the affirmations that we're saying, no matter how much we truly want our reality to change, we aren't actually leading in a new energy. And this is why regulating your nervous system is so important. And this is why you hear me say it so much, because I was reminded yesterday while I was coaching that when I first started learning manifestation, nobody talked about regulating your nervous system. It wasn't until maybe 2 years ago that people started talking about this. And I struggled so deeply with manifesting, specifically when it came to manifesting money, because I was not able to actually energetically release the trauma that was built into my body. Now, it's not that I was born with this, but societally, I was programmed into this. And so regulating your nervous system is so essential because you need to be able to regulate yourself to be able to experience a new feeling and to tell a new story. I was asked yesterday, how do you lead yourself powerfully when you're experiencing anxiety? And the thing that I need you to know is if you are experiencing anxiety, that is because your body does not feel safe. It means that instead of operating out of your parasympathetic nervous system, which is the rest and digest phase, that is the phase that things like meditation help you to get into. This is the phase that you really want to be transitioning to and the state that you ultimately want to be living in the majority of the time. But when your sympathetic nervous system acts up, this is when you're dysregulated. This is the fight or flight state. And when you're in this state, it doesn't matter what you're telling yourself. If your body is triggered, if fight, flight, fawn, or freeze have been activated in your body, that is a clear indication that you need to stop doing all of the mental gymnastics and you just need to regulate your nervous system, because regulating your nervous system actually doesn't take a long time. And there are so many practices that you can use, but it is about noticing when your body has gotten dysregulated, immediately pausing and regulating your nervous system. And once you regulate your nervous system and you activate your parasympathetic nervous system again, this is when you can keep telling yourself the empowering story. This is when you can lead yourself powerfully. But what a lot of people aren't doing is regulating their nervous system as many times in a day as they need to. And this is something that I need you to understand. I call it energetic maintenance. You have to be able to maintain this regulated state. So this means even when you're not in a dysregulated state, to be actually implementing nervous system regulation tools and techniques in your morning routine, in your nightly routine, throughout your day, so that way you are maintaining this state. But then additionally, on top of that, you need to be regulating your nervous system every time it gets dysregulated. Now, of course, at the beginning, you're going to have to do a lot more nervous system regulation techniques and utilize them more, just because your body has all of this trauma and this negative energy that's being held in it. But at the end of the day, once you continue to do this, you won't have to do it as much. But you still need to notice when you get dysregulated, because that state is always going to win. And if you're in that state, even if you're telling affirmations, even if you're telling a powerful story, it's going to be very, very difficult for you to stick to it. It's going to be very, very difficult for you to not have a negative emotional reaction. And if you keep reacting negatively, you're going to keep hyperfixating on the circumstances that you don't desire. So say you're running your business and you are shooting for whatever the number is this month. And so you are like, I'm so excited. My business is making X amount of money this month. I have this many sales coming in. Every time I look at my phone, I've got payment notifications coming in. I make money every night in my sleep. This is the narrative that you're telling yourself. But then you immediately wake up, or you immediately look at your phone and you look for evidence of it. And then you see that no one has bought anything, that very little sales have come in, that you are completely off track with the amount of money that you're desiring to be making when you look at your bank account, or when you look at the sales that have come in already. And then what ends up happening is you get triggered, you have an emotional reaction, and then you start telling the opposite story. Oh my God, nobody's buying. Oh my God, I'm never going to make this amount of money this month. Oh my God, my business is failing. Why isn't it working for me? It's working for everyone else, but it's not working for me. I keep telling myself these positive affirmations. Why aren't they working? Oh, I'm getting so frustrated. Oh my God, am I going to have to go back to a 9 to 5? Like, I'm not going to have enough money to pay my bills this month. And so what I call is the doom spiral ensues, where you start freaking the fuck out because you're telling yourself one thing, and then when you're looking at the evidence around you, you're seeing the opposite of it. Now, the mastery in reality creation, the mastery in having a 6, 7, 8 figure business quickly is not doing that. And yes, of course, that is easier said than done, but this is the work. When you understand that everything outside of you is just feedback of what you used to feel like, what you used to think about, the stories you used to tell yourself, you were programmed into believing this. So it's not like you're going to be able to say one thing one time and then you're immediately going to have evidence of it. This is why I always tell you, you have to be the evidence until you see it. So if you have decided that this is the month that you 10x your income, if you have decided that you are going to make X amount of money today, if you have decided that sales are always rolling in, it's a decision, right? And a decision means there's no other way. You have decided this is what's happening. So you're unavailable for failure. You're unavailable for it not working. You're unavailable for your income completely going backwards this month. In order for you to be unavailable for it, you cannot tell the stories that support failure, lack of money coming in, lack of sales coming in, regardless of what you're seeing outside of you. It's so easy for you to look at your external circumstances, and if they are validating the story that you want, to keep believing it. But it isn't a belief if you can see it in front of you. It is a belief when you are deciding to believe something even though you're not seeing it. So, what I need you to know is telling the new story is essential. But if you're not regulating your nervous system so that way you can keep moving through the fear and you can keep telling the story, when you notice that your nervous system gets dysregulated, before letting that doom spiral ensue where you just go worst case scenario and doom and gloom starts happening, you take a minute to regulate your nervous system and then go, okay, what's the story I'm telling myself? If you decide that it doesn't mean anything, that perhaps you woke up this morning, you looked at your phone, and you didn't see any sales come in overnight. If you don't make that mean anything, you could still stay in the frequency of I'm 10xing my income. Because quite honestly, you could have a sale come through in the next hour, and it could be somebody signing up for your highest proximity offer. You could easily make between 15 to 60K in the next hour. And who's more likely to get that sale? The person that stays in that frequency, or the person that starts worrying, fearing, and saying it's not working? What you have to understand is everything could actually change for you so quickly, but you need to be doing the work to have mastery over your mind and have mastery over your emotions. Because when you can take the spaciousness in your morning to have a morning routine where you're meditating, where you're doing a hypnosis, where you are telling the story out loud or in your head about how you want life to go for you, how you want your business to go for you, and you're getting into the frequency where this is your reality. Remember, you're manifesting from the moment you're breathing into. So when you are deciding and telling yourself the story of how today is going to go for you, you are not going to immediately look at the things as they went and let that dictate how you feel, how you speak, and how you move. So what you need to be doing is have a morning routine where you're getting your mindset right, where you're getting your energy right, where you're regulating your nervous system, and then tell the story of how you want it to go for you no matter what. No matter what you're seeing, no matter how many sales came in, no matter how many clients signed up, no matter how much engagement you got, no matter what, you are telling the story that this is my highest income month. You're telling the story of how much money you're making this month, and not a realistic amount. Be audacious with it, because the more audacious you are, the more you're actually going to have to get behind it. And if you're completely audacious with a goal and you're regulating your nervous system and you're doing the frequency work to vibrate with that feeling, to tap into the version of you who has that audacious goal already, it is going to require you to become a completely different version of yourself. And this is why my manifestation method is a mind, body, soul method. It's my psyche manifestation method. And the 3 pillars to that are rewire your mind, regulate your nervous system, and recode your cellular DNA. Because when you are doing all 3 of these things, it is a guarantee. It is a guarantee. And the people that walk around and embody the frequency of it's guaranteed, I've already got it. I'm not looking at how much money is in my bank account. I'm not looking at how many sales came in. I'm not looking at how much engagement I got. I'm not looking to see whether I went viral. I'm moving in this frequency because I decided. I decided that this is a 6-figure month. I decided that I'm an 8-figure entrepreneur. I decided that I was 10xing my income this month. And because I decided this, my mindset aligns with it. My frequency aligns with it. All of the stories that I tell align with it. You have to be able to persist in the story that aligns with your decision, because when you decide, you're all in. And this is why I always tell you, it isn't necessarily about what you want. Sure, you could want to have a $50,000 month this month, but if you want it, that doesn't actually mean you're doing anything about it. When you decide that this month is a $50,000 month, it's a decision. It's done. It's in the bag, because you're doing everything that's required of you to make sure that that is the results that you get. I always tell you the mindset and the energy that you're in while you're taking action is actually a self-fulfilling prophecy of the results that you're going to get. You will consistently see that people that have consistent 6, 7, 8 figure months are the ones that are not working harder. They are working more on themselves than they are doing things in the external world. And because they are working so much on themselves, the actions that they take are getting wildly different results than people who are not working on themselves, but taking action and action and action, burning themselves out, stressing themselves out, working harder and harder and harder. And it's like, if you believe that you have to work hard, you're going to have to keep working hard. But if conversely, you work on your beliefs to say, money is the easiest thing that I can manifest, sales are the easiest, most consistent, most reliable thing in my business, everything I do is successful. I make money in my sleep. All I have to do is breathe to receive. I get paid to exist. Then you can be on vacation and making bank. Then you could be getting your hair done and making money. Then you could be going out with your friends and having a gorgeous dinner and making money, because money isn't tied to you working. It's tied to who you're being. And when you work on who you're being rather than taking all of this action, you will quantum leap in your results. But that means that you actually have to create the spaciousness to work on yourself. That means that you actually have to decide what the reality is. What is the business that you actually desire? What is the life that you actually desire? And get crystal clear on what it is. I need you to start telling that story all day long. You need to brainwash yourself to believe in the new story. You need to condition your body to feel into that new frequency. And you need to do this so much so that even if something outside of you, quote unquote, looks like it's not working, you don't even go there because you're not even acknowledging it. Remember, things that you're not paying attention to are not actually happening. And I just got distracted because there's a bee somehow that's in the cabin with me right now. And bees are a sign of prosperity. So how beautiful is that? What you are observing is what exists for you. This is a holographic universe that is literally backed up in neuroscience. What you are observing is what's happening for you. There are an infinite amount of timelines that exist. And whatever you are feeding into with your energy, with your feelings, with your thoughts, that is what dictates and determines what timeline you're on. And you can collapse the timeline so that way you are completely transitioning to a new timeline, and you can quantum leap and do that quickly when you are completely all in on the new story, when you are completely feeling into the reality where you have it already, when you notice that fear comes up, you're regulating your nervous system on the spot. You're not allowing the fear to start dictating your emotional state, to start dictating the stories that you're telling, to start dictating how you're feeling about your desires. Your desires are meant to be yours. You are literally walking divinity. You get to have everything that you want, but you have to be the one that decides that. You have to be the one that puts your attention there. You have to be the one that is only available for it happening quickly, for it happening easily, for it happening in a way that is so synchronized that you don't have to logically think about how it's going to happen. You just need to work on your belief system. You just need to work on your energetic state. You just need to work on becoming the version and having the identity where it is all working, because this is available for you. It gets to work out. It gets to happen quickly. You get to easily make 10 times the amount of money that you made last month just by you telling yourself that you've got it in the bag. In the present tense, you're telling yourself how happy and grateful you are for the $50,000 month. You're celebrating the fact that clients are constantly signing up. You're celebrating the fact that you're always seeing payment notifications coming in. You're celebrating the fact that Your social media is growing. You're celebrating the fact that you had more signups than you've ever had. When you get into this frequency where you're celebrating things before they've happened, where you continuously tell a story how it is happening, how it has happened, how you already have it, this is when you will be so busy becoming the version of yourself who already has it that you won't be able to pay attention to anything outside of you that tells you it's not working, because you have decided it is working. But remember, it's a decision. You have to decide that it's working, and then you have to be all in. Your business is a reflection of the thoughts that you are thinking all day long. Of course, business does require having some strategy. It does require showing up. It does require having an offer. It does require having something for sale. Like, obviously, you're not manifesting the business, you're building the business, but you can manifest the results in the business. You can decide that your business takes off this month. You can decide that you have more signups than you've ever had. You can decide that you sign on more clients than you've ever signed on. You can decide that you sell more products than you've ever sold. You can decide that it happened so easily. Today could be the day that you make more money than you've ever made in an entire year. If you're playing into that frequency, if you're celebrating the fact that it gets to happen for you, if you're only available for that story, if you're only available for playing into that frequency, if you're only embodying the version of yourself who already has that, you would have the results so quickly. This requires you to lead yourself powerfully. It requires you to not fold. You have to hold the standard. You have to be the evidence. You have to move as the evidence. You have to think as the evidence. You have to feel into the evidence until you have the evidence. Because quite honestly, it is only delusion until you get the results. Would you rather be a little delusional and have insane results and have insane money and have an insanely successful business quickly? Or would you rather keep being realistic and keep letting fear dictate you and keep telling the story that doesn't feel good and keep disempowering yourself? Because it's all a choice. You're either unconsciously choosing the shitty results that you don't want because you're not doing the work on yourself, or you are doing the work on yourself to consciously choose how life and business gets to go for you. And when you become the conscious creator of your reality, which is also your business, everything you do in business will be successful. And these are the conversations that I will be having in my new 30-day experience called Lead Yourself Powerfully. So if you're somebody that notices that you are getting really reactive to things that are happening outside of you, if you're somebody that notices that you drop your power frequently, if you're somebody that notices that you feel good when the circumstances are telling you and giving you permission to feel good, but conversely, you're feeling bad when you aren't getting the results, when you don't have the evidence that you want, then this is a 30-day experience that's for you. I am telling you, at the end of these 30 days, you will not even recognize yourself, because in my world, I don't let you drop your power. I don't let you go back to the old story. I don't let you embody the old identity. This is going to be an experience where we are talking about how to lead yourself powerfully, no matter what is happening outside of you. And when you do this, I am telling you, you will have the most insane results, and it will happen so quickly. So if you want to join Lead Yourself Powerfully, I will put the link in my bio. If you join now, because we start in June, you will still get in for a pre-sale price where you're saving like $800 to $900 right now. I don't have the exact math in front of me, but you're saving an insane amount of money by joining now on pre-sale. So if you are not in already, you're going to want to join this experience. All right. I love you guys so much. I hope this one was really powerful for you. Let me know if you had some major aha moments. And until the next episode, I'll talk to you soon. Bye. Thank you so much for listening to this episode. If you're ready to go deeper and to get into my world, you can go to my website, alexaraysmith.com. You'll find all of my current programs on there. If you're desiring to get mentored by me, then the best thing to do is shoot me a DM on Instagram, and we can talk about mentorship options and which one's the best fit for you. If you're absolutely loving this podcast, please go rate it 5 stars and let me know why you're loving it. This will help me share the podcast with more people. Thank you so much for spending your time with me. And until the next episode, keep manifesting the most incredible life.